It's been a very successful event. I think one measure, of course, is the number of people that you see, and clearly it must be a record turnout. And I think then, on top of that, just the conversation, collective conversation. Excellent speakers, insights, market intelligence, knowledge, know-how that you can tap into. And then, of course, the networking. It's very important. None of us in this industry do business in isolation. It's very much about, interacting, integrating with, whether it be suppliers, whether it be the client, whether it be, other stakeholders in the broader environment. And it's been very good. I personally have had a very good time, and I look forward to next year. It's the 18th year. So I think it's probably a general trajectory, and I think that will just continue. What changes is the context. The world is, looking very different in Europe, for example, today from, say, 5, 10, 15, or 18 years ago when it all started here as an event. And I'm sure it'll look very different next year. And similarly, Africa looks very different from any time in my adult life, over my career. It's dynamic. We're seeing more stability, more confidence, more governance, more investment interest, more growth. In fact, Africa outpacing, as a region, many other regions of the world, and some countries in Africa outpacing the fastest growing countries of yesterday in the world. We're going through global cycles, some structural adjustments, some cyclical developments, and the mining industry sits right within all of that. So I think it's more the debate that changes as far as I'm concerned, and you need to be tapped in. So you cannot afford not to be part of that. And this event has become a key date, I think, for many people. People plan their calendar around it. So clearly, there are so many risks, so many issues out there. The world will look different a year from now, and people will come back to get the latest. Some big players need to be here every year. They will be noticed for their absence if they're not. Smaller companies obviously can get exposure. So I think those that get more exposure, or that tell a more interesting story, are the ones that benefit or that leverage the event better. But I think just in terms of the global backdrop, we're seeing Africa do well. We're seeing Asia do well. We're seeing emerging markets generally receive more airtime. So from a global context point of view, the beneficiaries currently are those regions, those governments, those companies in those markets that are the dynamic markets. And I think really this event is useful in that it gives you one angle on that global picture and how it is evolving. And then you need to use your leverage your relationships, your friendships, your partnerships, and the knowledge that you can tap into here to compete, and we'll be back next year to reset the clocks and, go for another round of competition.